Hey guys, Nellies Nest here, doing my first ever drawing masterclass, and today we're going to be making Dicks of Disney. It's an iconic series where we draw all the fat, throbbing wangs in the children's classics you love and will come to hate. Only joking, only pulling your leg. Now let's get to drawing. So, to get straight into it, I am in Photoshop at the moment, as you can see. So today, what we're studying is motion. Oh fuck, I'm so bad at spelling. Oh my god. I literally toddlers spell better than me. Studying emotion and structure today. Now, both of these things are highly important. Structure is obviously important because if you don't have a structure, well, then you don't have a drawing. And then if you don't have a drawing, then you're probably not an artist, or you're not even into drawing. And in that case, I don't even know why you're watching this. Maybe you like the sound of my voice. Maybe it's smooth like the summer breeze, or like a banana in winter. Is that smooth? But anyway, emotion kind of follows the same pattern of being a little obvious as to why it's important. So today we're going to go through structure and then emotion. So structure, now let's say you want to have a character. The most imperative thing within comic design and art, at least to me, is individualism. Art is a reflection of the soul. It opens a gateway into the visual spectrum we hold inside and lets us express something that even the finest of words couldn't create. It's a gateway into you. It's a gateway into the visual side of your mind, and and also kind of a gateway into probably the bad side of my mind that, I shouldn't be showing anyone, but that's... I mean, what I draw is between me, myself, and the federal police when they eventually catch me. So, don't worry about it. That's fine. So first of all, let's just draw a little bit of line work down. So right now, what I've done here, so I've drawn a generic head shape, which is, you might notice, just an egg. It's an egg that I've turned upside down. Now, you may notice that on this image itself, he's got like a little crosshatch on the one next to him. You see like the line going up and the line going to the side and stuff. Now what this does is that this gives him depth. This makes him, this kind of makes this little egg shape look like a person sort of. Look, he's looking at you right now being like, hey, how you doing? And then eventually he's going to slowly like turn away as we slightly adjust the lines and edit the lines themselves. So as you can see, now he's slightly looking to the left, and a little more, until he's eventually just completely looking away from you and not caring about anything you say. It's just a great way to show how we can create depth quickly. Now, for the time being, let's just draw some generic head shapes. Let's try and learn some basic structures. So my basic structures are like this. They're rooted in pretty much like basic human anatomy, kind of like fundamental stuff. I mean, human anatomy for someone that's blind and, has the IQ of a shovel, but is still a little bit handsome, because I can't, just sit there just dissing myself. Everyone's got positives, even Hitler had a pretty cool mustache, but that's enough about that. So what we want to be focusing on at the moment is more so drawing simpler head shapes, basic structures. So right now you can kind of see me going for a simple structure here. So we can go for like an eggplant design. There we go, cool. Now if you're also wondering where I always know to draw this middle line, it should always just be in the middle of the head roughly. The eye line should always be roughly in the middle of the head. It can be higher on certain characters. Think of Wallace from Wallace and Gromit. He's got very high eyes. I don't mean high as in like weed smoking, you bloody stoners that are watching the channel, you little chuffaduffers, huh? No, I mean more so high as in like his eyes are high on his head, like. See, so you can also have him up there as well. And you see, even with us dramatically changing the position of his eyes, you can still see the structure there. So we could also draw, a man that's a square, a man that's has a very long head. Now, something that's as important as swapping out the baby powder for paprika, but arguably more safe, is necks. Neck size has to kind of fit the head, like necks and heads go hand in hand. They're like necks and heads. I'll show you a perfect example right here. So there are two ways I could draw this guy's neck. I could draw it in a straight line, and look at that. He looks rigid. He looks like he's standing at the bank. and he's like, oh, yeah, could I please get a load out, you know? Now look at this guy with a curved neck. Boom. See how organic that looks? He looks like he's standing in the store in fucking Walmart about to buy some fireworks. He looks dope as shit. He looks the kind of guy I'd be friends with. Look at that neck. You know, I like being friends with curved neck people. They've got it going on. They understand more of reality than I ever could. So there we go. So with necks, neck style is important. So let's say here, let's move this guy away from the square one quickly. So this guy's neck style, what would we go for here? His head's long, kind of squished. So if we gave him a really big chunky neck, it just makes him look like a thumb. See, it kind of looks like a thumb at the moment. It's like one of those things in Spy Kids. They could probably even just make him look like a giant thumb if we really wanted to. See, and now, you know, before you know it, your character, see, he's a thumb. See, boom, and that's not what you want. You know, no, we don't want big thumbs. What we want, I mean, maybe you really like thumbs. What we really want is that we want a neck that suits the style of character. So his head's kind of small, so I'd probably give him like probably like a thinner neck. Thinner neck. We can give him a quick little collar line. And there we go. See? We got like a neck that suits his head, suits his body. You know, he looks like a guy that'd be walking around. Now, we're going to move on to the square dude. So, the problem with characters like this that are very geometric is that, I mean, they kind of lack a lot of body language ability, you know? Body language comes from a lot of different things, and having his head being such a hard-to-find geometric shape makes it a little bit difficult. I mean, on the contrary, you can always say to him, "Oh, do you want to square up?" You know, which is just fantastic. That's lovely. But aside from that one small pun, you're kind of digging yourself into a hole, a square-shaped hole. I might be exact. A way to kind of compensate around this, I find, would be that I'd probably give him smoother shoulders and just kind of give him like a regular body, but just a square head. You can still make that match as long as you kind of keep the sizes intact. So yeah. Now, we're kind of just going around, we're just fixing up a few of these lines. Honestly, I'm about as good as geometry as a goldfish on ketamine, so I wouldn't really trust me. There we go. And now this guy. This guy's going to be an interesting character. I've never really drawn a character that's been this long. But, same principle. Nice curved neck. Obviously, you can't have his neck being really big because his head's tiny. And if I had his neck looking like that, he just looks like a fucking weirdo. I mean, no, I guess you can kind of do it. That sort of looks funny. So, you know what? We'll leave him with a wide neck because I think that looks absolutely comical. Alright then, and we're back. So yes, so this guy with the wide neck, look at him. He looks like a dumbass, to be honest. Alright, there we go. And see, the problem is that I mean, problem with my characters is that I don't really draw a lot of people. You could also draw a guy that, well, he just has no neck. Yeah, there we go. So give him some shoulders, give him no neck there. If you want to know how to draw someone missing a body part, the easiest thing to do is just draw them with the body part, like so. And then just erase the body part. And then you go. There you go. Now it looks like he's a dude who doesn't have a neck. So now, as you can see, we've got quite a few head shapes or designs. I will be skipping my style of head shape and design for the time being, just because it's something that's very difficult to simplify, at least for now. So let's chuck that one off, and we're going to go into this guy first. Now, in terms of facial structure, we're going to be following pretty simple processes here. I tend to erase my guiding lines and then just draw in place of it because I've been drawing for a long time, but if you guys will make a brand new layer and we'll draw over them. Now what we were saying before is that, remember that this line is the eye line. This is a fantastic note. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to start off with something simple. I'm going to give this guy just some big old eyes. Some big cool guy eyes. Now, if we want to keep it really simple without getting into too many drawing fundamentals, we're pretty much just going to be aiming for symmetry with both these eyes. Now, to be specific, the one that's further away should be slightly smaller and slightly more up. But right now, I'm pretty much just making them the same size just for ease of use for you guys. We'll kind of go over that in like a later course. So you can see that I've kind of just shucked his mouth anywhere. So the fact is that with his head size being smooth, it doesn't really dictate where his facial structure should be. So it makes it a lot easier to place his mouth like wherever you really want it to be. I can chuck it up here and it still looks fine. I could put it up there and make him look really, really sneaky and cheeky. Look at that little bugger. You could even chuck it all the way down the bottom if you really wanted to, and it would still technically look okay because the outside of his head size doesn't actually dictate where his facial structures could be. But we're just going to chuck it there for now. Now, so you can kind of see that we've got like a basic face being built up. You know, it looks good. We're going to erase the guiding lines, and there we go. You know, now we've got our guy. We've got some eyes there. We've got a mouth there. We've got like a little bit of motion already going on. He's kind of looking a little bit smug. Like he's sort of looking at me like, yeah, I maybe ate the last cookie in the cookie jar. What are you gonna do about it? What? Frustrating, I know, but don't worry. We'll draw him having no cookies and being tortured for eternity just for that. Trust me. I will cover that. We're gonna put a little bit of a thickness over his eyes and over his mouth, as you can see, because it makes it look more direct. For features like eyes and mouths, you want them to look more direct. You want them to look powerful. So, as a good rule of thumb and something to follow, male characters should never really have like a full set of big plump lips. We should kind of just use these little jagged lines under it to define the bottom of the bottom lip, and often not define the top lip. This isn't to say that male characters can't have giant full lips. They can, and yeah, I mean, they'll look glamorous. They'll be looking hot. They'll look fucking hot. But unless you're going for like a JoJo's-esque feel, or you have a character that's hyper masculine, it's often best just to keep it simple and keep it easy, and just sort of bring it back to like a basic level of your lip. Just defining the bottom section. It does the same amount of thing. It just helps create a sense of depth to the face and just makes the mouth look like it's got a lot more there, you know? So that's something that I can always recommend, something that I do in a lot of my characters, is just put a few simple lines there. If you do it, you'll notice an immediate amount of depth being created under the mouth, even if you don't put them in the right place initially. Okay, so obviously enough. Well, we've got to give his eyes some emotion. So let's say with this guy, let's say we're going to make him relaxed. So, make his eyes kind of melancholy. So something to do, that's something that's very good to practice, is look in the mirror a lot. And touch yourself rigorously. That's the best advice I could give to anyone when it comes to learning emotion and mastering that kind of craft, is look in the mirror. You know, what do your eyebrows do when you're pulling a certain face? How does your face react? Go up to your mum, tell her to stuff it, and then monitor her face and see how she looks, see how she reacts. The best example of how to draw emotion in people is, well, you know, look at the outside world. It's people, of course. Because you're the best example of that. It's like there's people who say the best way to learn how to draw hands is to draw off your own hands. Like, it's very true. Like, you are the best model, you're in 3D, and you're free. You're completely free. You can use you at any time. You know, like, you would not make a good prostitute. You are very free, and yeah. So, we're making this guy look bored. So, all I've done is I've chucked his eyes over. They look a little bit glossy, like, yeah, you know. Like, I don't know. Like, he just saw... I saw Sonic the Hedgehog in the movies, and I kind of had this expression. I was not really that impressed. So, maybe he just saw Sonic the live-action movie. Now, eyebrows-wise, I could put his eyebrows anywhere. Once again, with a basic structure like this, with this man, eyebrow placement isn't really that important. Now, the higher you put eyebrows, or the further away you put eyebrows from eyes, the more cartoonish it's going to look. The more unrealistic it's going to look. See, I could even put them up there. Yeah, I mean, maybe not. But, you know, you get me. So, let's just chuck his eyebrows here. And because he's bored, I'm going to make them straight. Now, his mouth doesn't really suit the emotion of boredom, the one that we made before. So So going to erase that, and I'm just going to put his mouth straight. Look at that. And that guy looks fucking bored. Oh my god, look at him. Wow. He literally couldn't care less. It's like you've just told him that your mum died, and he's just like, ah, bummer. Yeah, dude. Boo-hoo, you know. Like, he couldn't care less. So you'll notice, you'll notice here that I've left out his nose. Now, the reason I did that is because there's a billion ways to draw noses. Explaining to you how to draw a nose is pretty much an entire another video in itself. But, we can go for a very simplistic nose this time. So, you know, let's give him a little triangle. There we go, boom. Or I can even give him something like that, if you wanted to. Boom. Or I can give him a classic, you know, Nellies nest kind of nose that I tend to use a lot. But for now, I'm going to just leave him without a nose. I quite like him without a nose. Maybe even just give him a little black triangle. I like that. Alright, so there you go. So we've got our first guy pretty much done. And you know, you can see how we built up his structure, how we built up his face. And now, like Kamada Bukake, he's got emotion on tap. He's ready to go, you know. So the structure's pretty much done. So once you've finished designing his face, you're gonna want to go around and clean up your head a little bit. You know, your head needs to follow general guides. Like, if his head's round, it has to follow, you know, a consistent kind of flow. So now we're gonna do the classic thing that I do in everything. And now that his base structure is all done, I'm going to cover him in black marker. Full thick black marker. Oh yeah. You like that, don't you? Huh? You little bored bastard. Huh? Yeah, you look so bored. Fuck yeah. And there we go. So, more or less, that is how I draw a character from my comics. I could, in fact, give him an ear. You know, we could erase that and then pop an ear in there if you really wanted to. But his face doesn't really suit a traditional ear. I might, you know, put like a little hole. He looks like a kind of guy that would have a hole in his ear, you know? Like, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting at the moment. And also, a nifty little trick, the ear hole could also be used as a flashlight. So that's a little one to jot down in your notebook. Pretty cool. Music symbol. Cool. Yeah, you know, I like it. You see here how I'm just kind of adding in stuff because it looks cool. Because I feel like it adds to the character. So he's got music coming in this end, and then he could have like, you know, classic stink lines coming out of that end. I don't know. But this guy is more or less pretty much done. I'm happy with him. Happy with his structure. He emits the kind of emotion I'm looking for. He looks really freaking bored. Now this guy. So going on a new layer. So we're using the same thing, and for this one, let's do like maybe like a slight anime style face because he's got a block structure here. He looks kind of weird. So in anime, we're gonna give him some happy eyes. Gonna give him some happy eyes, a really simplistic mouth. There we go. And also some eyebrows as well. And there we go. There's our guy. And to be honest, we wouldn't even really need to do that much more with this man. You could add in some teeth for him, remembering that he is... There we go. Cool. And I quite like him. So let's just keep that guy there. And there we go. Alright. Cool. So we got that guy. Got a cool little guy. So his geometry looks about as in place as a whale at an ant convention, but that's okay, you know, that's fine. I'm not that good at drawing shapes, so you know, that's fine. Now this guy, so he's got a bit of a weird face. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna erase this one, and I'm just gonna wing it. I think his face should look kind of like this. Ah, look at him. Miserable. Alright, so I want to give him like a really long mouth. Just something weird. Oh, there we go. Look at him. He looks so sad. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. There, look at him. And then, you know what, we're gonna give him that chin we talked about. And kind of have his chin rippling down a little bit. There we go. And there's another cool little guy. So bang. And bang. And we've got our last guy here. Let's just make him, I guess, a very classic style of character. A little nose. We'll give him a little cheeky smile. And make him be looking away kind of like that. And there you go. That is more or less, you know, a character. You can see him doing stuff. This is like the face he pulls when, you know, I'm 4 hours into ranting about the fact that queefing and farting are the same thing. And he knows that I know I'm wrong, but he listens, you know. He cares about me, and I really appreciate that. You know, I just, you don't find that kind of support a lot anymore. So there we go. We've got four handsome boys. He's bored. Ugh. He's pretty cheery. He's depressed because, well, he looks like a fucked foot, a bad foot, a diseased foot that is so diseased it doesn't even look like a foot anymore. He looks like a very, very sick foot. And this guy is just don't worry about it, dude, you know, I like him. So we're going to put a little bit of soul into his eyes. That's me can do as well. In any kind of instance of pure black, where a pupil exists, chuck a little bit of white in there. It's the highlight, and it gives them soul. It's a very, very minor change, and it's something that, you know, it makes them look substantially better. So there we go. That's 4 cheeky little boys. And yeah, that's kind of going through the idea of structure and base emotion. I'm probably going to go through a little bit more stuff. So in regards to a little bit more into structure, really the best thing that you can do when it comes to character designs is just learn to practice what you see in your head. Or just learn to experiment a little bit. Experiment with different things. Always draw different size heads, you know. Draw heads like that if you want, you know. Or, I don't know, draw heads that look like that, you know. Who knows, man? Who knows? Like, whatever you're gonna do, you gotta realize in drawing that the worst thing that can happen is that it's not gonna look that good. And then that's not even really that bad, because 90% of my stuff doesn't really look that good. And that's fine, you know. You realize that with art. So, it is important, it is imperative that you just try a lot, experiment a lot. Run through what we went through, you know, and try and create these faces. Try and create these structures, and then try and draw faces that you think suit them. Try and draw faces that you like, things that you enjoy, and all that kind of stuff. Now, a base level of emotion that we're going to have to go through. So, I'm going to kind of, I guess, go into detail about emotion on the next one. Right now, I kind of just breeze through what emotion was. Obviously, you use your own facial structure as your own point of reference. That's literally the best thing you can do. But I will have another video about detailing all the aspects of emotion, the different things that happen when certain emotions are conveyed, and I guess how to replicate what you see on your face a little bit better and a little bit easier. Yeah, aside from that, yeah, thanks for tuning into my first proper masterclass. I hope I taught you at least something. If I didn't, let me know, and then I will drop a toaster in the bathtub, and I'll see you in the afterlife. So yeah, but seriously, yeah, just any kind of comments, anything like that, please do let me know. I would love to have your point of view. I'd love to hear about it. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute hoot. I can't wait to do more. Thanks for your time. Bye.